Hey now, namaste and word 'em up, Balance Fit family. In this episode, we discuss the cultural necessity of dad humor, how Gen Z will save the world, the evils of marketing, and the featured discussion is prepping and training for obstacle course racing like Spartan and Tough Mudder. Stick around, kick back, and enjoy. I had very deep, dark thoughts about our future because I just thought we were crashing and burning, but I don't think that anymore, specifically because of this cohort, this group of this segment of Gen Z, because of the conversations that I've had. Here's thing number one that I want young people to remember. The people who are older than you were you. We were you. We have been every version of what you will become up until the age that we are now.
Yeah.
We were teenagers, and guess what? It's not all that much different. The stuff's different, but humanity doesn't change. Find somebody who wants to help you navigate life. And I mean, really wants to help you, really wants to be there and be a mentor. Around the 1920s, really marketing and psychology, the psychology of marketing started really taking hold. And what does this have to do with fitness and wellness and nutrition and all that? Here's what it does. Protein in everything. You cannot walk down the aisles of a grocery store anymore, or Sam's, or wherever you're going to buy your grocery items, without seeing in big, gigantic, colorful letters on the front of everything, protein. And we have a thing for that.
Just do it.
Protein. OCR is obstacle course racing, which is what Spartan, Tough Mudder, all that stuff is. I signed up for my first race, which was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I did the sprint. And sprint's 3.1-ish miles. It's about a 5K. They say they're called Spartan miles. Spartan miles, it could be 3.1, it could be 3.8. You just go. You never know. Anyway, I finished that first race. I didn't fail a single obstacle. I ran as fast as I could, and I finished. And Meredith has video of me crossing the finish line where I was just like, blah! I was like, I want to do this again right now. Training. How do we train for this? So how do you get started? I want to encourage you as much as possible to get the hell out of the gym. Get out of your air-conditioned gym, because you are not going to be racing in dry, perfect conditions.
In front of a fan.
You're going to be in the bugs and the heat, and it's going to be 1,000,000 degrees, or it's going to be 20 degrees. You're going to be wet. You're going to be muddy, all the things. So you need to get out and train like you race. I want you to get out and get miles under your feet. Calisthenics are so underrated in this fitness culture today that it's criminal. Add some weight training that is geared toward repeatable strength endurance. We're looking for repeatable strength in all planes of motion. Right. So not just the frontal and the sagittal. We want to train in the transverse plane too. We're not doing max power.
Right.
But we are doing power. We're not ignoring power. We want, what did I say?
Explosive power, yeah.
Yes.
When you need it.
Right. Farmer carries and suitcase carries. I want you to train yourself in what's called interval running. Quitting is an emotional response to a physical and or a mental stressor. Don't quit. Are you over about 22 and looking for some physical challenge and competition? Are you a parent looking to get your kid motivated and engaged in life? I have 3 letters for you. OCR. Let's discuss. Balance Fit Radio is on.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lift off and the clock has started.
Hey now, namaste, word 'em up, and good day, Balance Fit family, and welcome to Balance Fit Radio. We're talking about strength, meaning in the human experience. I am your host, Scott Schroeder, and I am a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and performance enhancement specialist based here in Easley, South Carolina, about halfway between Greenville and Clemson. Balance Fit Radio is where fitness meets psychology and philosophy in everyday life, because true wellness is about more than just the body. It's about living in balance through strength, resilience, and capability. Let's get after it, shall we? Back in the studio with me today, seldom practicing responsible peanut buttering, Lacey Pletcher.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. I mean, at least I feel bad about it when I don't eat peanut butter responsibly now.
Well, that's progress.
Baby steps.
Hey, by the way, if you're out there watching or listening to this on any of the platforms, or if you're taking in any of the clips that I post on any of the platforms and you find some value in it, or you think somebody else might find some value in it, you're getting a laugh out of it, you're learning something, that's really all I want to do here, then please, by all means, share the show, share the clips, do all the things that the algorithm overlords ask us to do. Do the ratings and the reviews and the likes and comments. Hey, if your comment is thoughtful and respectful or funny or anything other than just demeaning and just a few sentences of assholery, I will absolutely respond. So all of those things help grow the show. It's really all I'm trying to do is help spread this word a little bit. And all of your interactions help the different, whether it's on YouTube or the podcast platform or whatever, they all have little different things that they like to push the show out there. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Balanced Fit. Is it Balanced Fit or Balanced Fit Radio? I think it's just Balanced Fit on YouTube. But you can search Balanced Fit Radio.
It finds it too.
Yep. And on any of your favorite podcast platforms, follow the show, subscribe, leave a rating and a review and all that kind of stuff because it helps. It really helps. Otherwise, they're going to bury us. And I'm not trying to do anything about money or getting rich here or sell you anything. I'm just trying to have some fun and put some information out there, have some meaningful discussions. So anyway, I was at the gym the other day, and we were talking about treadmills a minute ago, and I decided to hop on the treadmill. But then people gave me some weird looks, so I started jogging instead.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of dad humor and goofy, silly humor, I was at the doctor's. This is real. This is not a joke. I was at the doctor's office the other day, and we sit. They take us back over at the Prisma IMA place. I just told everybody where I went to the doctor. That's fake. Anyway, you check in and you go back, and it's like an open, sort of like a big hallway where each individual office has its own little sort of enclave, its own little niche waiting area. And so it's open. Several, like my doctor's office there are 4 doctors working out of there. And so the other doctors have a door down there, and other doctors have a door down there. So there are many patients seeing many different doctors sitting out there, all kinds of different people. And as you know, if you go to the doctor's office, you will tend to encounter some older folks. And something happened the other day that it tickled me so much, and it made me want to. I actually pulled. It's the only time in public, because I do not sit there and zombie stare at my phone. I refuse to be that person. What do they call it these days? Raw dogging. I think that means something else in another context. But yeah, I just sit there and look around and listen to things. Anyway, I heard this and I had to pull out my phone to make a note of it for the show today. And one of the nurses came out to get a patient. And of course they call out your name. And I hear, Mr. Carter. And then I hear the response, he ain't here. And then he laughed. And the nurse goes, you know what? I don't believe you. Mm. Now, you might think that's silly, stupid, kind of a little, God, let's stop wasting everybody's time. Why did you even say that? But I got to tell you, that reminded me a lot of my dad. And we need more things like that in this universe.
That sounds exactly something like I would do. I think I've told you, like when you're ever like Stacy Fletcher or whatever, my friend Mandy and I decided just instead of me spelling it out and being like, no, it's with a P, and they're like, a PF? Like, no. I just give the last name Dinosaur. So it's like Dinosaur Party of One. Oh, yes, that's me. It's so much more fun.
Dufresne. Mm-hmm. What do you do for, do you do a fake name at like coffee shops?
Not normally, but what they write on my cup, because it's so brilliant what they write on my cup. I get, Larry and all of the other, Lassie. Gotten Lassie a couple times.
Lassie. Nobody, the name Meredith, I think, is becoming more back into the zeitgeist. I think there's more and more people that they seem to be in their mid-20s that have that name. But my Meredith was the only Meredith. By the way, one of our things is whenever we travel, if we're at a gift shop of any kind or if we're at a convenience store and, they have those rotating racks of all, like the keychains with.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. They'll have the most bizarre names.
They really kind of do. I'll find some and then just be like, but you don't have Lacey for real?
Or Meredith.
Yeah.
Not once in 27 years have we ever found a Meredith in any of those places.
I found a Lacey once, and I can tell you where it was. It was in Pennsylvania off the 80-90 toll road. It was such a big deal to actually find it.
But... Why the fuck am I talking about her name? I completely
because
lost
we
my
were
train
talking
of
about
thought.
Mr. Carter and saying no, and then if I had a fake
Starbucks
name,
Starbucks
Starbucks
shop
names,
yeah, because so nobody could spell Meredith for the longest time. Meredith,
yeah,
and it actually the name means protector from the sea. So it is because mer
yeah,
is water
cool.
or
Never thought about
sea
that
in Latin, and the name Edith means protector. So
Okay.
Meredith, and that's a derivative of that, is a combination of that. It's protector from the sea, which is a fun side fact because she and I met in Charleston after I had sailed from Key West to Charleston. So I got off a boat after doing an ocean passage from South Florida
And you met
to
your protector
Charleston,
of the
and
sea.
I met her. So anyway, so the name she used to give them was Sasha.
Oh,
So Meredith was Sasha at coffee shops for the longest time. But the dad humor, Mr. Carter, he ain't here. Tee-hee. It's like, come on. All right. You know what? I think it takes all kinds to run the universe, and it does take dad humor too. And I think we take ourselves much, much, much too seriously these days.
I just told somebody that the other day. They said a mentor of mine told me I take myself too seriously, and I said I would amend that a little bit and just say you take life too seriously.
It's like
we're all gonna die. Just go have a good time.
We just absolutely did everything to straight up murder comedy about, I don't know, it started maybe in the 80s, but really just got so bad in the last probably 10 years or so. It's like people, not only has humor itself, you see, and fortunately comedy, stand-up comedy in particular, starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but it had basically died for the longest time, and it just wasn't funny anymore. It was all political, and it was all on one side. It's like, I want to hear you make fun of everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to put any restrictions on you, but that's what it was all about, is restrictions on what you're allowed to laugh at and what I'm going to say and all that kind of stuff. It's making a little bit of a comeback, but life wasn't fun, it seemed like, for a long time, and I think it's making a little bit of a comeback, but it really reminded me of that's so totally something that my dad would have said at the doctor's office. But and it made me think I need to have somebody hypnotize me so I can get into a deep contemplative state and start writing down all of the things, because there were just hundreds of them, that these little one-liners that my dad would say.
Yeah.
Like he would say, somebody would say, "Oh, my head hurts," and my dad would go, "Does your face hurt?" "No."
Yeah.
"Well, it's killing me."
Uh-huh.
And how about this was one of my favorites, an Alan Schroeder original. We'd be in the car. Most of his great lines came from driving. Like people who you run into a lot of people who are just afraid to operate their automobiles, but we'd come up to like a stop sign, an intersection, and they'd sit there forever. He's like, "Hey, jackass, the sign says stop, not surrender."
Oh no,
which I loved.
Yeah.
Or if someone would say, I wish I had a better car, and my dad would say, "Do you know this one?" It would say, "Well, you should wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster."
That's good.
How about never trust the living and keep one eye on the dead? That was funny a lot. But that tickled me, and I wanted to bring it up. Mr. Carter, he ain't here. I thought that was pretty fun.
I'm stealing it. I'm using it.
And the nurse was great. She just rolled right with it. You know what? I don't believe you, or whatever it was that she said. That was great. All right, before we get into it, if your current fitness plan looks something like watch a bunch of YouTube videos, try random workouts, get confused, and then go eat a jar of peanut butter with a spoon, I might be able to help. The Balanced Fit Blueprint is a 3-session virtual coaching program where we build a training plan designed specifically for you, your goals, your schedule, and your real life. We start with an assessment. I build your custom program. We walk through it together, then check back in and adjust it once you've had time to implement it. It is not a generic workout. It's coaching with intention. If you want a clear plan and a smarter way to train, check out the Balanced Fit Blueprint at balancefitsc.com. Your life, your potential. All right, in the warm-up section today, I believe you had something that you wanted to talk about.
Well, that goes right into it. So I know I've talked multiple times about saying, my fitness goal was just to be able to pop up on a kitchen island and not feel like my arms were going to give out. Well, I had to do that, except it was on the nose of a boat this weekend. I beached our boat and thought so many times as I was pulling it around, always I'm pushing the boat up onto the sandbar, pulling it and saying maximum effort. Had to get our anchor out a couple times, not to put it in the sea, but to actually beach it on the beach. And I'm taking this, it's really heavy and trying to force it down in the sand so we don't blow away because all the storms and everything this weekend, we had a little bit of wind pushing us around. But then to get back on the boat, I turned around and it was much higher than a kitchen counter. And I was like, let's just jump and get up here. We know I can hold myself. So, but that's also why I've got bruises from knees down to ankles, is cracking shins and everything, crawling around on the boat. Raya couldn't get back. She jumped off the nose of the boat onto the beach, but then I had to swim around to the back with the swim deck. And as we were floating out to sea and I was going up to my nose in the water, I'm trying to lift her up. She had her claws on the swim deck and I'm trying to lift her butt in, and now I'm going under. And that's why they say don't help a drowning person, they'll drown you. She almost sat on my head, pushing me under as I'm trying to push her up on the thing. So good times though. Good times.
Yeah, a boat is just a giant bruise machine. If
you
get off a boat, you will be bruised.
Oh, somehow one of the cleats, the first time I jumped off, I put my hand down to swing my legs over, and somehow my toe got caught in one of the cleats. And I'm like, I couldn't do that again if I tried, So
Grace.
Graceful is my middle name. Actually, it's Danger. Just kidding. See, Grandpa.
Stacy Danger Fletcher.
Yep, there you go. So yeah, I did. I bruised myself, and then between Ryan slamming into me, but I felt really good. I was able to beach the boat, manhandle that anchor around. It was heavy and uncomfortable, but I got it done, and the boat didn't float away.
Very nice. That is a
functional fitness.
Functional fitness.
That's why I've been training.
Functional, right? All right, in the zeitgeist, I'm actually probably going to rename this the Gen Z segment because I really want to talk to this group of this generation of society, and in particular this subgroup within this generation, and that is the teenagers right now, the kids who are the Gen Z kids who are between 15-ish and about 21, right in there, because I honestly believe I've been very down on the future of humanity for a long time, and a lot of it had to do with phone culture and social media. I just didn't see a way out. It got so bad, about 10 years ago that it's like, how are we ever going to get out of this spiral? It's like no one wanted to ever do anything but shove their nose into their phone. And that transcended generations. Everybody was doing it. It wasn't just a young person thing.
The irony of parents at first telling their kids put their phones away, and now it's parents are on their phones too. It's just everybody.
The worst. Boomers, the worst. Hey, grandparents, while your grandkids are in the room, maybe stop playing Bejeweled and pay attention to your grandkids before you die.
Royal match, yeah.
Jeez, man.
Ooh, I need to check in.
Maybe have your grandkids see something besides the top of your head once in a while. I say this all the time, the kids are watching. We may not think they are,
Yeah.
and they're listening.
Yep.
Every single thing we do and say, we are our kids and our grandkids' great first and greatest influence, and they will become what they live beside. So, yeah, regardless of even, I don't even think now people are saying, hey, get off your phone, and then they're staring at it. It's just everybody's got their chin tucked into their chest and it's doom scrolling, looking. They're trying to beat boredom when boredom is the catalyst of creativity, but what they're actually doing is creating more boredom because you won't stop scrolling because these little things, these little reels and these little shorts and these little things that you're not consuming long-form content, something that you can engage with and think about and listen to. You just, it's like the quickest thing. And if it doesn't catch your, I have to deal with this social media crap because of my business and my podcast. And I'm always like, hey, I just created this awesome clip. Why did it only get 7 views or whatever? And it's like, well, did you do this, and this? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to contribute to the crushing of humanity, which is we've created a situation where if you are not in, they say 3 seconds. It's not even 3 seconds anymore.
Yeah.
If the cover or the cover art or the
preview
text
or whatever
on
it's
the cover,
called,
whatever,
isn't right.
It's not, it's just, you're just scrolling right past it.
I've actually been following this artist who's an independent artist, and I think he's made a real summer banger. But it's a song about making it without a record label. And everybody has just flocked behind it, and it's been amazing. And he's talked a lot about the process without having a record label behind him. And he was saying that, this Friday, because he had to master it and then send it to Spotify, and then Spotify gives you a release date. So I've actually learned a lot about like releasing music and whatnot, just, kind of listening to his vlogs and what he's doing. But he said the first 48 hours of your song being out on Spotify makes or breaks it.
That's awful.
And he just said like, so he's like, I've not asked for anything. You guys have rallied behind this naturally, and I don't want to beg, but if I could ask my fans and the people that have found me through, identifying with the song and whatnot can you mark your calendars? Can you pre-save it? Can you please, stream it so that it will get into people like ears beyond like the people that found it on Instagram and really love it. And it's a great bop. I'm going to send it to everybody I know. And, I already planned to stream it back to back a whole bunch anyway, because it's a total earworm, but it's kind of the same thing.
Talk to musicians who cut their teeth and made their bones in the business before streaming, and before streaming even became what it is now, which is just a bunch of filler nonsense that's becoming more and more dominated by fake AI stuff.
Yeah.
But they talk about how Spotify has killed music.
Interesting.
Because you don't
sit. I love Spotify.
Yeah, but you're not 15 years old. You have established musical tastes.
Oh, that's true.
And you grew up pre this thing. If you're 15 years old and you're looking for music,
Spotify's going to serve it it's going to give you what it wants.
Yeah, and it's going to silo you, but it's also going to disappear. It's just here and gone. There is no investment in this music. If you're 15 years old, you ain't paying for that streaming service.
That's true.
You have no
That's right.
investment.
I had to go buy a CD or like a
Not only
cassette
did you
tape
have to go buy it, nobody was driving me anywhere.
That's true. Oh my God.
I had to
no one
walk
drove me anywhere. Yeah.
to the record store. I actually worked
I had to
at
wait.
a record
I had to
store
wait
for
until
a
my
while.
mom was willing to take me to the mall.
There's no and here we go, Grandpa. But the visceral, emotional connection that we used to get with music from bringing home an album or a CD even.
Well, and loving it enough to make the effort.
With the case, but sitting there when you put that album or that CD or the tape, because the cassette tape would come with the fold-out cover inside the plastic case too, and sit there, put the music in and let it play, an album, an actual album of songs, and let it play all the way through while you're reading along with the lyrics and looking at who produced and who wrote it and who did this and who look there, this guy that I know from this other band was a guest musician in here, and it was the whole experience. And now you're just, it's like, it's, first of all, it doesn't really exist. It's ethereal.
Yeah.
It's photons. And so there's nothing for you to touch. That's why I did a thing like about 2 years ago about how Gen Z is now going out and buying cassette tapes.
Well, and vinyls have made a huge comeback.
This was specifically about cassette tapes. They didn't know how to use them, and they didn't have any equipment. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, I don't have a cassette player to play this. They didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, I'd get out my number 2 pencil and wind it back in.
If you know, you know. But the point is that they were buying these things because they wanted something of their own. Think about it. If you're under a certain age, you don't have anything of your own except your stupid phone, which your parents either bought you or you got a hand-me-down.
Yeah, like what?
You don't own things.
I'm trying to think of like what was on my shelves. It was my CDs and my books and like all these physical things you could touch and like interact with and whatnot. My movies. Oh my gosh, my VHS tapes. And like, yeah, now it's all in here or it's on my streaming service. You don't have anything you can physically touch. It's just
and here's
in the
difference between me and you, even though I'm much older than you, and then these kids today, we had tangible physical things, as you just said, books, CDs, tapes, posters on our walls.
Oh, posters.
Whatever. But these days, I don't want that stuff.
Yeah, I don't want the clutter.
I don't want it cluttering up my house.
Right.
But we had it.
Yeah.
We learned to this day, I get emotional about music, whether it's like fired up or whether it's teary-eyed or whatever it is. Music moves me for reasons that I can't even explain because it's in here.
Me too. I've had this conversation with somebody who just said like, I just don't like get into music like you do. And I'm just sort of like, and this is an older person, somebody my age. And I'm just like, how do you not? Like, oh my God, doesn't it like, why would I go see Mumford & Sons again? Why? And I'm like, their music just speaks to me like in general. And it's, I don't know. I hear it. Like, that's one of my favorite things. I saw somebody had posted a quick short of Marcus Mumford singing White Blank Page where he like really screams or whatever. And her caption was, the only person that sings this passage with as much like not efficiency, but passion as I do is Marcus Mumford. So she was saying she sings it with that much passion. I was like, that's pretty clever.
And I don't even care.
Yeah, it talks to me.
People talk about whatever genre of music is good. I don't even care. I don't care. Find something that moves you. Yeah. Genuinely moves you. I don't care
what do you identify with? What moves your soul?
And the other part of this though is how difficult it is, and this is ironic. Think about the irony of this. How difficult it is for kids to discover different kinds of music today, even though they have instantaneous access to everything that's ever been recorded, basically. Yeah. For the most part. And what do I mean by that? Because as you said a minute ago, once you play a song on your Spotify account or whatever your music streaming service is, it's going to start feeding you that same stuff. Yeah. When I was a kid, and I'm sure when you were a kid, how did we hear our first music?
Your parents.
Exactly.
My brother, he would go buy CDs.
There's still some of that, but think about the family dynamic in an automobile on a family trip or just a trip to the store or to practice or whatever. Everybody's got their own. Everybody's got their earbuds and their headphones. When we were kids, you were listening to whoever was driving was playing. Yep. That was the rule.
Yep. Our Jeff Foxworthy CD was on repeat.
You may have hated it, but you at least got exposed to it. And not being exposed to different things, whether it's comedy like that or talk radio or all different kinds of genres of music, it's tragic. And it's just like I talked about with food, about what's making us fat is this hyper abundance. Abundance is making us fat. Yeah. Choices are not good when there are too many choices. So with music, it's just I forget what the number was. I heard it the other day. I watched Rick Beato, and he does a lot about this kind of stuff. But God Almighty, it's something like, I don't even know. I'm going to say the number wrong, but it's some insane number. Like, I've 3 million songs a day get uploaded to Spotify. Yeah, look that up. It's
Got you.
You can't keep track of that. You can't hear it. You can't listen to it. You can't process it. It's too much.
100,000 new songs and audio files are uploaded to Spotify and other major streaming platforms every day. The staggering volume amounts to over 2.7 million new tracks hitting the platform every month.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
What is that? And
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but of that 2.7 million new songs per month, how many of them are human created?
Yeah.
How many of them are just crap that was written just to get something out there there's not really anything behind it? That's something that's always gone on. Like pop filler fluff has always been on the radio, but I don't know, man. Anyway, I've got way distracted on this thing. So Gen Z, I have been talking to y'all, working at the Ninja Gym. I'm surrounded by kids that age, young people that age. My nieces, two of my nieces are in this Gen Z segment. My daughter is on the older end of this Gen Z segment. And I've been having a lot of really thoughtful conversations because I want to know what it's like. I couldn't imagine growing up the way these kids are growing up now. But what I want to say is that I think I started out saying I felt really bad. I had very deep, dark thoughts about our future because I just thought we were crashing and burning, but I don't think that anymore, specifically because of this cohort, this group of this segment of Gen Z, because of the conversations that I've had. And they're sick of the shit.
Yeah.
They don't like this lack of authenticity.
Yep.
They want real things. They want people to stop bullshitting them. They want to hear the truth.
You know what I want to call them now? They are Gen X 2.0.
Maybe so. But they've had it. They've watched they're
so inundated. At some point, there's only so much marketing can do until you realize, like, I am just straight up being marketed to.
Yeah. And that's funny that you say that because I'm going to get into that. And like I said, I want to name this the Gen Z segment because I want to talk to them because I think you guys might save the world. And I want to be here as your
sounding board.
Really old, much, much older dad or uncle or even grandfather who's been there. Here's the thing. Here's thing number one that I want young people to remember. The people who are older than you were you. We were you. We have been every version of what you will become up until the age that we are now.
Yeah.
We were teenagers, and guess what? It's not all that much different. The stuff's different, but humanity doesn't change. So we went through all the emotions and all the things that you're going through.
All the pressure,
And we're ahead of you 5, 10, 20, 50, 30 years, whatever, and find somebody who wants to help you navigate life. And I mean, really wants to help you, really wants to be there and be a mentor. Find a mentor.
Yeah, mentors are great.
Surround yourself with people who elevate you. All right. You can still be you. You don't have to be some Socratic deep thinker as you go through life. At 16 years old, you don't have to figure out what you want to do and be, no, be yourself, but surround yourself with people who elevate you and find a mentor. And if I can be that, then I'm here for you.
I'm free on Tuesdays.
But the first thing I want to say to you is to shun the catastrophic incompetence that has subsumed the entirety of the culture. And I mean everything. I mean government. I mean schools. I mean the clergy. I mean people driving on the road. People just can't drive anymore. I don't mean physically. I mean physically, spiritually, emotionally, cognitively cannot drive anymore.
Yeah.
They don't know the rules of the road, written and unwritten.
Yeah.
They don't know how the reaction time. Technology has made us dumber, period.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, technology has made us dumber because we rely on technology to think for us.
Okay, yeah. So I think you and I have touched on this, but I had a girlfriend bring this up this weekend, and I know guys that do it. Like, as I'm trying to meet people and like get out there, Because I've seen my guy friends do it in front of me to girls they're dating or interested in. They're asking ChatGPT what to say back. And then, so when that same friend, when I send them a text that I'm like, hey, here's what I'm thinking or whatever. And I get a text back that I'm like, did you ask Grok to write this? Like, oh my, like, I'm not even, I'm not an interest or whatever. I'm just your friend. Like, you can't even come up with but I see a lot of people are doing that to even have their conversations. And that's so sad. I fancy myself a wordsmith. Like, I wish I had saved some texts and things I've written. Nobody would ever read it, but I'd put it in a book. I have a way with words. And so I can't imagine, number one, like not using that ability to express myself and blessing everyone with all of my language. But I also, and this is where, when you were saying you'd be a mentor and, question everything. Since a young kid, I'm question everything, and not in an annoying, like, why, but like, why is this happening? Who are you to tell me that? Like, it's served me well and not well at times, but question authority. But,
I think I don't Thomas Jefferson who said, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but it's something like this: question with boldness, even the existence of God, because if he exists, he would surely prefer questioning over blindfolded fear.
Yeah. Exactly. And so to me, I don't want somebody else speaking for me. When everybody says to me like, oh, well, if you were me, I'd be like, you have no freaking clue what I would do if I was in your shoes. You know why? Because I almost don't have any freaking clue. So yeah, I just can't imagine using technology to just crutch you through your day all day.
Oh my God. It is. And it's the dimming of humanity. Because first of all, when you're in a car, your first job should be to pilot this 2-ton death missile that you've been given the keys to interact at high speed with other people's families. Mm-hmm. So that should be your first job, except that's like way down the list now behind eating and taking selfies and doom scrolling and whatever else it is that you're trying to do that keeps you from actually going when the light turns green. But it's the dimming, the slow dimming of humanity that this phone culture has done to us, because people can't even, aside from by the way, if you drive while looking at your phone, you may not be an asshole, but you're doing asshole things. It's equivalent to drunk driving. And it might even be worse.
And when I'm in my car and I'm in my big boxy car and I feel pretty safe, it's one thing. But when I'm in my motorcycle, it's terrifying, and everybody, it's what they say. It's like, I'm not going to drive into the ditch on my own and kill myself. It's going to be somebody else. And I see that whenever I come to any kind of, I am making eye contact with the driver. Now you can't see behind my helmet, but still, I'm making sure they are looking at me. And if I see somebody looking down at their phone or looking the other direction and ooching out, I'm going to hit my brakes. I'm not even going to go close to it, because I don't want to know I don't want to know if my helmet works. I don't want to know if my jacket works. I buy equipment I hope I never use to go enjoy that. That's a enjoyable time. But
the philosophy I taught my daughter when I was teaching her how to drive is you need to keep your head on a swivel, because it's not you that's going to get you in trouble. It's the other asshole that's not paying attention. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like when I was driving my horse trailer all the time, people don't understand. And I would put out a public service announcement before every horse season, you guys, it might not be me, but you're going to see a lot of horse trucks and trailers on the road. I can't accelerate as fast as you. I can't brake as fast as you. I can't stop as fast as you. My best friend is in an aluminum box with no seatbelt. Give me space. If you're trying to pull on, and you want me to speed ahead, you're in a speedy little car. It's like the boat jet ski, speed ahead in your car. Why are you slowing down? I can't speed up or slow down. Let me go, move around me. And remember, my best friend's back in there in a crash in a truck and trailer is a dead horse. It's just what it is.
All right. Well, I could go on for days about driving stuff.
We should talk about some fitness stuff.
Readdress the driving thing. But Gen Z, here's what I want you to know about something that's been pervasive for 100 years now, and that is marketing. Yeah. And I want you, what you said a minute ago, and the quote that I offered, which is what were we talking about?
Thomas Jefferson?
don't believe.
Oh, yeah, question authority. Just don't believe everything you hear.
Don't just believe things that you're told, all that.
Yeah.
But check it out. Don't just hear something and go, you're wrong, that's wrong. Check it out. But anyway, marketing has been a thing since about the turn of you know what? Turn of the century. Which century? Because I've lived in two of them now. But around the turn of the 20th century, somewhere around post-industrial revolution, around the 1920s, really marketing and psychology, the psychology of marketing started really taking hold. And what does this have to do with fitness and wellness and nutrition and all that? Here's what it does. Protein in everything. You cannot walk down the aisles of a grocery store anymore or Sam's or wherever you're going to buy your grocery items without seeing in big, gigantic, colorful letters on the front of everything, protein. And we have a thing for that.
Just do it.
Protein. It's everywhere.
And we proved it on looking at our nutrition label. I mean, that thing says the marketing on there, like whole grain, and like, is it a lie? No. Is it true? Sure. But in the context of everything else that's in there,
right?
You can't just believe
protein.
All that stuff.
So I think the first big thing that people might remember is fat-free. Everything's got to be fat-free or low-cal or whatever. So we went through that whole fat-free thing in like the 70s and 80s, and that's when like Diet Coke and Tab and crap like that started coming out.
Well, and then it kind of went sugar-free. Like for a while, fat was the devil, and then for a while,
much later,
and then sugar was the devil.
And then they replaced the sugar with saccharin, which of course we found out causes cancer. To be fair, you have to drink an awful lot of it, but still, I don't really want to take that chance. You know what I mean? But so we did fat free, and then there was the whole big reduce your carbs, and we've gone through, and it's vegan or it's vegetarian, so we go through these stupid things, and people, no one selling you anything is looking out for you. Okay. They're trying to sell you something. They're using psychology to manipulate your purchasing power. So when they slap the word protein in bright yellow or red letters on the front of a box of Pop-Tarts or whatever, they're not looking out for you. They're trying to sell you a product that you may not have bought before, or that maybe you were a little reticent to buy before, and it's going to make you feel a little bit better about it. And I mean, you see it. It's chips, cereals, pretzels, cookies, popcorn, frozen waffles, energy drinks, and sodas. That's just a partial list of stuff that they're marketing as protein now.
Well, yeah, because you don't need any of it. I mean, it's all excess and just feel good and whatnot.
Even things like pasta or stuff that you might actually sort of be considered to be like quasi food. It's just protein is all over it. And first of all, a lot of this stuff actually already has. Well, anything that has flour, anything that's made with like that has oats, like oatmeal. Yeah. It may be an incomplete protein, but it has protein on it. And that's part of the trick here. So I want you guys to remember this, that just because it says protein on it, there's a very low bar for putting that word on there. Yeah. And it might already have actually they might not have even added anything except the word to the label. Because Pop-Tarts are made from ingredients that include natural protein. Sure. It's barely any of it.
Yeah. But there's protein in there.
And it's not very bioavailable, but the protein's in there, so we can put protein on there. Or they do what we talked about with a couple of episodes ago, which is enriching something.
Yeah.
So if it's not even food, right? It's just chemicals and stuff that was produced from something that was maybe food 6 steps ago.
Processed
they
it to
can
hell.
enrich it with vitamins and minerals, and now they're enriching stuff with protein, but they're using, listen to me, they're using the cheapest, crappiest, least amount of protein that they possibly can. So they're using stuff like soy and pea protein and stuff like that. They're using proteins that are not complete proteins, and the amount of protein that they're actually putting in there is not worth what you're doing. Like if you look at a bag of chips and you go, I wasn't going to buy that, but it says protein on it. you're just worse
that's
off.
not what. Yeah, that's
You're
not what
worse off.
protein is. That's not what protein is.
And I want to give you an example because you know how I like to pick things like this, but Pop-Tarts. Now, look, man, I love Pop-Tarts. Okay?
Okay, wait, sorry. What's your favorite kind of Pop-Tart? What's your go-to Pop-Tart?
Cherry. Frosted cherry.
Oh, okay.
Now, I haven't had Pop-Tarts in, I don't know, maybe 10 years, but I love Pop-Tarts. Let me say this out loud, real loud for y'all. There's nothing wrong with eating a couple of Pop-Tarts every now and then. But this is not something that we want to send our kids off to school as their breakfast or have this every day. But here's what they're doing by slapping the giant yellow letters that say protein on Pop-Tarts. First of all, it already had some protein in it, as we said. But here's the breakdown. Parents, and I see this in Sam's all the time. I see parents shopping for their kids, and they're just grabbing. It takes all of my willpower to not stop them.
Yeah.
But it's none of my business, whatever. But just the crap that they put in there, because it'll have something on it that says protein or whole grain or whatever it is. But Pop-Tarts, protein Pop-Tarts. A serving size is 2 Pop-Tarts. Yes, thank you very much. That's what comes in the little foil packet. Now, in this particular one, this one that I did was brown sugar cinnamon. There are 400 calories in those 2 Pop-Tarts. 400 calories is a lot of calories. If you're on a 2,000 calorie a day standard diet,
Yeah,
it's a lot of your calories. So there's 10 grams of protein in these protein Pop-Tarts. It's pea protein.
Yeah.
The bioavailability, of that 10 grams of protein, your body's probably going to be able to use about 4 grams of it.
What's it do with the rest of it?
It's either
Does it go to waste or does it go to like stores to make me fat?
Both.
Okay.
Because a lot of this, for example, plant-based proteins are high in fiber. Fiber reduces the bioavailability of protein, so you will excrete it.
Yeah.
But that which you don't excrete or don't use will eventually be stored in your adipose tissue as fat. It will be turned. It will go through glycolysis. It will be sent to be used as energy, and whatever your body doesn't use as energy or cellular repair or whatever, it's going to eventually store as fat. And that 10 grams of protein is 40 calories.
Out of 400.
Out of 400. It's got 67 grams of carbs. 67 grams of carbs, 30 grams of added sugar. So guess where most of those carbs are coming from? But that's 268 calories of carbohydrates of that 400.
The delicious brown sugar. Did you know that brown sugar cinnamon are my favorite kind of Pop-Tarts?
Meredith's too.
And I don't toast them. I love them just as they are.
Yeah. And then fat, 11 grams of fat. That's 99 calories, and that's not bad.
All things considered.
Let's look at the macro split.
Yeah.
Of those 400 calories.
Like as a standalone, it's like, oh, that's not bad, but
10% of it is protein. 66% is carbohydrates and 24% is fat.
Yeah.
That's a little high that's a little out of balance to be sending someone off to school or whatever. And just because it has the word protein on it.
Well, when I think about it, I don't like to eat the corners of them because it's just a big, like, chalky mouthful of flour, basically.
Well, you got to eat the edges, the non-frosted edges first.
No, see,
leave the bottom edge so you can hold it as a handle. So you eat the edges off of it, the bread edges off of it first, and then you eat the frosted. But like the big
thick corners, I actually will sometimes just break those off. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't even think it tastes good.
You're not a boy, are you?
Well,
I'm eating.
So let me. It's so funny because this just came up. So the comedian, because we also love comedy, Gary Goldman. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but I thought he was great. He's been around for ages, but I don't know how this got on my algorithm or if the universe knew you were going to talk about Pop-Tarts. But he has a Pop-Tart bit that he says, and I just looked it up. It's Pop-Tarts are not real tarts. And Gary famously states, a tart is to a Pop-Tart as a grizzly bear is to a gummy bear. But yeah,
Indeed.
I saw that bit like this weekend for something. But
The lesson here is please do not fall for the hype. This slapping the word protein on all these boxes, especially in the bright colors, that's the same. It's the same strategy we talked about with hooking somebody's attention with a short or a reel
really quickly.
You put yellow or red big font letters on the thumbnail to get your attention. They're doing the same thing with food or what isn't really food. And this is some nefarious Edward Bernays shit right there, man. And I'm still talking to you, Gen Z, because if you don't know, and I guarantee you don't, if you don't know who Edward Bernays was, he was he's known as the father. I think they call him the father of marketing or the father of advertising or something like that. But he was around in the 1920s through about the 1950s or 60s. And he was the guy that companies would come to, large corporations would come to if something was failing and they needed to sell it, or they had a surplus of something and they needed to sell it.
They'd repurpose it. And
the most famous one is probably the whole bacon thing. The Beech Nut Company. Yes, it's that beech nut, the ones who make your baby food.
Okay.
The Beech Nut Company needed to sell a lot of bacon, because apparently they had some excess bacon. And this was in the 1920s. And then basically breakfast didn't exist. You would get up, have some coffee, piece of toast with some butter or something like that, and then go start your day. And then your lunch would be, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and you would have a big meal at lunch that would sustain you for the rest of your workday, and then a big dinner. Well, all that changed because of this guy and because of this issue in the 1920s when the Beech Nut Company needed to sell more bacon. And Edward Bernays started an advertising campaign, and he went and talked to a bunch of doctors and got doctors to sign off that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And not only that, but a big breakfast that includes bacon. Sausage, eggs, all the dairy stuff, oats, coffee, all this stuff. So that is why to this day, the entire paradigm of humanity and the way they consume food at the beginning of the day was changed because of that.
Yeah. Well, and when you said, Edward Bernays, I was like, Bernays like the sauce you hate? I just looked at it's Bernays, and the first thing that comes up is a YouTube called The Dark Origins of Advertising. How did modern advertising become psychological?
Yeah, well, and speaking of that, Edward Bernays' mother, her last name was Freud.
I was going to say he's from Austria.
Sigmund Freud's sister.
Yeah.
So Sigmund Freud was Edward Bernays' uncle.
Yep.
And he learned everything about psychological manipulation.
That's
through
what's funny when people ask me if I have an undergraduate business degree, and I have to say no. My school did not have an undergraduate business school. But they're like, oh, well, we want somebody with a marketing degree. I was like, I have a psychology degree. Isn't that the same thing? I mean, really?
All right. So, Gen Z, we need you to save the world. I think you're going to save the world.
Please.
But you need help. So I want you to open your eyes, open your ears, close your mouth a little bit, and find a mentor, learn some things. And so hopefully that little diatribe, that whole thing that we just went through for the last, I don't even know, 20 minutes or however long I was ranting about that, was helpful and provided some information for you.
Yeah. Gen Z, I'm free on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we ride at dawn, baby.
All right. The heart of the matter today, we are going to talk about something that is a subject near and dear to my heart, and that I hope some people are going to find a lot of value out of, and that is Spartan or OCR racing and how the tactics, techniques, and procedures. So this is going to be a two-parter. We're going to do the next episode next week. Today's episode is going to be how to get started, and how to train, some philosophy about it, some philosophy behind it, some, as I said, TTPs, as we said in the military, tactics, techniques, and procedures. But before I get started, I want to just put a disclaimer out there. I said Spartan, but I've also been saying OCR. OCR is obstacle course racing, which is what Spartan, Tough Mudder, all that stuff is.
Buddy.
Over the next however long we talk about this, I'm going to inevitably use the brand name Spartan.
Kleenex.
A lot. I do not work for Spartan. I am not sponsored by Spartan. I do not specifically endorse Spartan over any other OCR racing organization or group. I am not being paid by Spartan or anyone else for that matter to do this podcast. There are plenty of OCR organizations and races in which to participate. I don't care which one you do. Just get up and move. I've been competing in Spartan races for 5 years, something like that, and that's the name I land on in OCR discussions. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay.
And there's the OCR races you can do with your dogs. And speaking of, I'm going to say, anytime you see me kind of laugh, Lucy's ear keeps touching my ankle. And I like sunk my heel down and like she's just been letting me put my foot on her head. Raya is halfway under your carpet. Her back
she is
legs
over there.
Like her back legs and front legs are half under your carpet over here. And then Finley's just passed
I
out
didn't
over here.
realize all three dogs were actually
All
in
three
here.
are in here being such good dogs.
All right, so what do we start? First, the why. Why did I start OCR?
Right. Yep.
I think I was 5 years. I believe this is my 5th year running. So that would have put me a little bit after 50. I grew up as just sort of a general athlete. I could play all sports. I'm not big enough to be a great football player. I'm not tall enough to be a great basketball player. But I'm a runner. I'm fast, but I have that rare combo of endurance and speed. Well, I used to be fast, but but I've always been strong. I've always worked out, for relatively speaking, for my size and my build and my genetics, but I've always just been an athlete.
Yep.
And as you get out of high school, and the reason I started the episode with that in that cold opening with, are you over 22 and looking for something to do? Because typically when you leave college, we talked about this before, your options for competing, getting involved in sports and activities like that
Much
really
less.
shrink. And so I ran. I did road racing, 5Ks, 10Ks, all the Ks, half marathons, all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I got to the point when I was about 50, 51, 52 years old where I just couldn't beat the pavement anymore. My knees I can do a 5K today with no problem at all. I can probably do a 10K today with no problem at all. But anything past that, it's too much on my knees because I've spent my whole life on my feet. But I need to compete. I need to compete against myself. I need to, training, running, working out, all those things get really boring if you don't have anything to do.
I was gonna say like the purpose, and I know that all too well. Like if you don't have your why, and sometimes that needs to be because I want to do a race or I want to do something and check something out.
Your health and longevity, but you need some midterm goals.
Sometimes you need to manhandle that anchor out of the nose of your boat and like slam it into the beach so you and your friends don't get pushed away by the storm.
So I was looking at what can I do? What can I do? What can I do that's not just road racing, pounding the pavement? And I saw Spartan, and I kind of kept the tab open for a long time and kept going back to it because it's intimidating. It's like the fear of the unknown. It's like, can I do this? Even though I was in the military, I have done obstacle
boot
courses,
camps, all that stuff,
plenty of times. I love it. I grew up climbing trees and jumping fences and running through creeks and all that kind of stuff. But kind of like that fear of the unknown, getting out there, can I do this? Finally, Meredith pushed me to do it. And I signed up for my first race, which was in Jacksonville, Florida. And I did the sprint. And we're going to talk about the different races. There are four basic different races. And sprint's 3.1-ish miles. It's about a 5K. They say they're called Spartan miles. Spartan miles, it could be 3.1, it could be 3.8. You just go. You never know. Anyway, I finished that first race. I didn't fail a single obstacle. I ran as fast as I could, and I finished. And Meredith has video of me crossing the finish line where I was just like, blah! I was like, I want to do this again right now. It's like getting a tattoo, right? It's like, I can't stop here with just the one. So, yeah, I finished that first race. I crushed it, and I was addicted. That was it. So I want to share that feeling. That's how I got started. And I want more people to have that same feeling, to compete not only against other people, but against themselves. If there's anything in the world of adult athletics, and not just adults, they have kids races too, but I'm specifically talking here about folks like us.
22-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Or folks like us,
yeah,
or 22 times 2.
We can talk about Spartan kids later as well, but definitely get them involved. So that's how I got started, and it just really got its hooks on me. And so the next thing I want to talk about is, what is OCR like physically and mentally? Because that's the kind of the fear of the unknown. It's like, I know that I can do this stuff, but I'm not sure what's going to happen out there.
And the stuff that kind of makes the splashy, ads for it and whatnot. It's like, that is that's a 100-foot tall wall. How am I going to get over that? Or, you think about all the movies where you do see stuff like the boot camp and whatnot, and it looks like it's really tough. It looks like, how would I even train for that?
Yeah.
I don't even know where a 100-foot wall is, let alone have one.
Right. And first of all, fear not. Let not your heart be troubled. There are no 100-foot walls on Spartan courses. There are 4 foot over walls, 6 feet, and 7 feet, I believe, is the tallest one. But there's a lot of stuff that's really big to climb and swing and hang from and crawl under and jump over and all that kind of stuff. But so what is a race like? And we won't talk about the ultra, which is 2 beasts, or a marathon and 60 obstacles. We're not going to talk about that. So what is the basic? What is
for beginners?
What are the mechanics of the race? It is essentially a cardio event interspersed with explosive movements. So you need a little bit of power. You need a little bit of high intensity capacity to negotiate some of these obstacles, but you also need some cardio capacity to run between the obstacles. Now, let me stop there.
I was going to say, I think we've talked about this, but how you just described that as somebody that's does not enjoy running at all, I think of the obstacles as the break from running, right? This is the rest point. Yeah. But actually, you're you got to be explosive right now. And I'm like, you mean the obstacle isn't lay down and take a nap?
Yeah, the number one thing that keeps people from doing a Spartan race or an OCR race is running. Oh, I can't run. I hate running. They're running. Blah, blah, blah. Well, running's like math. The reason that you hate running is because nobody ever taught you how to do it right. Yes, running, if you don't know breathing, gait, different techniques on body position, how to actually run, it is going to suck and it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But here's the good news. And what did I just say? Why did I get into Spartan? Because I couldn't run for long distances on the pavement anymore. First of all, you're not on the pavement.
Yeah.
You're out in the woods, or you're in the fields, or whatever. So you're not running on hard ground. Second, if you do the shortest race, which is the sprints, 3 miles, there's 20 obstacles. There's a lot of
breaking it up. Yep.
Breaking it up. So you're not ever going to be. I think with a sprint, depending on the course, because that's another cool thing, is they're all different. You might of the courses I've run sprints on, maybe by far the longest stretch, because they do want to test you in everything. They're not going to only have you run 200 yards between every obstacle. There might be a mile, maybe, might even be 3/4 of a mile of the longest stretch of a run. The rest of it will be 1/4 of a mile here, 1/5 of a mile there. And then sometime, in the race that's coming up, and that's one of the reasons I'm talking about this, which I should have mentioned, is near us, the Asheville race, which is actually not in Asheville.
Not at all.
It's in Mill Spring, North Carolina, which is just above, it's west of Charlotte and just above Spartanburg, South Carolina, right across in North Carolina, right across the state line. It's about, it's 45 or 50 minutes from Greenville.
Yeah. Straight shot up 25, turn east.
Yep. It's coming up in 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. 3 weeks from yesterday, I think. So that's what inspired me to do this. And we're lucky enough in this area that we have several races within 1 or 2 hours of us, 3 of them, I think. And then some others that are in kind of like the 3 to 4 hour range. But the running part, this particular race, the Asheville race, and they do this a lot, is they will stack a bunch of obstacles at the end. So the last mile of your race isn't even really, you're not even really running.
Yeah.
It's you're just hitting one obstacle after the other, which is its own
Challenge.
physical exhaustion challenge to itself. So yes, you do need to be in some kind of cardiovascular shape, but here's the secret. Unless you're competing in a competitive heat, an age group or an elite, if you are competing in an open heat, guess what? You can walk.
You do what you want.
You can walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you fail an obstacle, big deal.
Skip it.
Either move along or skip it.
Yeah.
If it's scary, skip it. I don't recommend skipping it because I want everybody to try stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's terrifying to you, then skip it. If you fall, and here's a little tip. If you fall, do it again. Yeah. You paid the money, but get in the back of the line.
Yeah. And not if you really hurt yourself.
Whatever. But if you hurt yourself and you do it again, that's on you. But the Spartan community is having a little issue right now with people not observing the unwritten rules of the course and the written rules of the course. Somebody will fail an obstacle and jump right back up on it. It's like, no, jackass.
Yeah, you got to
get in the back of the line. Mm-hmm. You can do this as much as you want, but you can't stand there and do the same thing over and over again while 20 people are standing behind you. Anyway, that is a digression, but that is what it is. And so that's where I want to kind of get through the fear factor of what it's like and what you can do. Make it your own race.
Yeah. So, all right, Scott. So we've covered that, like, it's a running event, and then you need to have some explosive power. And, when I think of this, I think of crawling through the mud, right, under the ropes. I think of, like I said, coming up to a wall and jumping up on the wall and then having to go over the wall. Talk to me a little bit about some of the other obstacles that are there, because besides those couple, I mean, the fact that they come up with 20 of them, I'm like, or
30.
Yeah. Do medieval knights come out and you joust at one point? Like, what are some of these obstacles?
It's probably not far off from that, but a lot of it is hanging or grip based obstacles, like monkey bars, rings, like the rings, gymnastics rings. They have a thing called a multi-rig, which is usually some combination of rings and a swinging bar, things that you have to do mixed grip things on. They have feats of strength. There will be a bucket carry, which is full of gravel, and it weighs like 50 or 60 pounds. I don't even know. And they do have men's and women's weights on the feats of strength stuff. They have sandbag carry. The sandbag carry is an absolute freaking smoke check. The sandbag is heavy. It's one of those big pancake sandbags that has no handles.
Yeah.
So you're just hugging it. You either have to hug it, put it over your shoulder. I rotate it around my body. I hold it down with my arms. I put it on a shoulder, put it back to my neck, other shoulder, and rotate it back around. Other feats of strength, they have what's called a Hercules hoist, which is a rope with a 50, 60, 70-pound sandbag on it that you have to haul up to about, I don't know, like 15 or 20 feet up in the air, and a rope climb.
I'm going to say, they're like cargo nets and all that good stuff too.
Cargo nets. They got an A-frame cargo net, a vertical cargo net. They got diabolical things like the twister, and not all of these are on every race. Right.
I was just thinking of like beyond the ones that I could think of. Yeah, tell me about some other things that go on there. They have a thing called a beater, which is like an egg beater. So it's like monkey bars that rotate. Oh, yeah. So you grab onto the bar and the whole thing swings down with you. And then you go up to a stationary bar and then another moving one. One of the toughest ones is called a twister, and it's a long axle, or a long axis. Axle, I guess, would be a good description too. That has offset handles on it. And so you either have to go forwards or sideways, or some people go backwards. But when you grab one of those handles, the other handle rotates up. This handle rotates down. So it's not like just hand over hand. And it is a monster. And it takes a little bit. It takes like 30, 40 seconds of hanging and gripping, changing your grip to get through that. There's Stairway to Sparta, which is climbing. Mountain climber holds up a straight wall. So your knees are banging into the wall. You have to climb up this thing, and then you get up there, and it's got bars that you climb up eventually if you make it up that.
Other stuff like, the Olympus wall is probably the most failed obstacle in all of Spartan. It's an A-frame wall.
Yeah.
You can go down either side, and it has holes, the three kinds of grips, holes or chains or mountain climber handholds.
Ooh.
But there's nothing for your feet to be on except the slick wall.
Gotcha.
And it's at about an 80-degree angle.
All right.
So
you got to shimmy your way across.
Yeah, and you're muddy and sweaty, and it may be raining, so it's very difficult. There's mud obstacles. They'll usually have you find a water feature on the course, and you'll be running through a creek for a quarter of a mile or crawling under mud or whatever. The barbed wire crawl at the Asheville course in particular is in about 8-inch deep muddy water. So you're more swimming than you are crawling under the barbed wire. And then it all ends. There's a bunch more obstacles, but that's the bulk of them.
Thanks for the.
And it ends with a fire jump. You get to jump over fire at the end, which is really cool. It's a good way to finish. Everybody's all pumped when they do the fire jump. But training. How do we train for this? So how do you get started? I want everybody to know at first that I'm gearing this toward people who are either coming straight off the couch, or you have an athletic background, you're moderately have a moderate state of fitness or even a high state of fitness, but you've never done an obstacle course race before. You know, it does require strength training is going to help you, but it's a little bit of a different brand of strength training. You can't just bulk your way through a lot of this stuff.
Well, and that kind of brings me to some of my questions, and this almost goes hand in hand. So, the 5K, and with all those obstacles, about how long as a beginner should I expect to be doing some physical activity? I mean, does this take an hour? Does it take 2 hours? Is it for your average person that stays consistently moving in a nice little jog?
That's a good question. If you run half or more of the running parts of the course and walk the rest of it, you can probably, and you fail a moderate amount of the obstacles and you don't repeat them 12 times. It will take you somewhere between the sprint, the 3-miler will take you somewhere between an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
If you're more proficient, if you're able to negotiate some of the obstacles and you're a better runner, you should be able to complete a sprint and without factoring in wait times at the obstacles. The later you race in the day, the longer the lines are going to be at the obstacles. So not factoring in wait time, if you can get through the obstacles and you have some good running capabilities, you should be able to finish a sprint in less than an hour.
All right, so it's not like some big daunting 6-hour thing that I need to be prepared.
Not that one.
You're right for beginners. I mean, just like to get started. It's not like to even get my foot in the door. I need to be ready to be out in the heat and be tackling obstacles and whatnot for 3-some hours.
Yeah. So what you want to do is get yourself going and training in the right direction for this. And we do want to talk about the elements as well, because I want to encourage you as much as possible to get the hell out of the gym. Get out of your air-conditioned gym, because you are not going to be racing in dry, climate, perfect conditions.
In front of a fan.
You're going to be in the bugs and the heat, and it's going to be 1,000,000 degrees, or it's going to be 20 degrees. You're going to be wet. You're going to be muddy, all the things. So you need to get out and train like you race.
Yep.
So I was definitely going to touch on that. But so how do we start for that cohort of people that we were talking about? The first thing I want to talk about right here, the very first place that you're going to start is I want you to get out and get miles under your feet. Walking,
get your steps in,
jogging, running, whatever your fitness level is right now. Don't go out and kill yourself. Don't go out and push yourself doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Okay.
Start walking first, but it's important to get the miles under your feet. And this goes back to what you just asked me. How long are you going to be out there? Well, if you're going to be out there for an hour and a half, you need to get yourself used to being on your feet for 60 to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have another diatribe right now. And when I say get out of the gym, I especially want you, when I say get miles under your feet, I want you to get off the treadmill.
Yep.
I cannot describe to you how much I hate treadmills as a personal trainer. Now, if you live in Minnesota,
that's okay,
and there's 11 feet of snow outside, and it's minus 40, get on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Okay? I get it. I'm not stupid. Or if you live in Austin, Texas, and it's 115 degrees and 100% humidity, okay. But remember, if you're there's a Dallas race, I think there's an Austin race. If you're racing there and it's going to be hot, get out of the gym.
Yeah.
You got to acclimate yourself. You got to temper yourself to the climate in which you are going to be racing. That doesn't mean you go out there for 3 hours a day, every day in the heat and kill yourself. But you got to get out in it. So,
and while you're out in it, people, please wear your sunscreen.
That's my little caveat to some acceptable treadmill usage. But I want to talk to you about why I hate treadmills for training, in particular for training
for something
OCR.
like this.
Because you are not utilizing the proper muscle groups. And you and I were talking about this before I hit record. And the reason I don't like it is because it promotes injury because you're using a different set of different muscle groups to propel yourself than you would be on the ground.
So I always was told that, like, because I could, run on the treadmill in the gym at like 9 o'clock in college because that was safe, like running around north of Chicago, not safe at 9 o'clock at night. But it was always that, like, always put it on a little bit of an incline because otherwise you're just popping up and down while the road's going under you versus having to push your weight forward and all of that. So that was always what I was told.
And that's a diatribe within a diatribe. So I'm going to get to that, the whole incline thing. And I want everybody to understand what exactly I'm talking about when I say it's almost worse than nothing when it comes to training your feet and training your leg muscles to walk on, not only on trails, but up and down hills. Your main muscles for propulsion, for pushing your body forward, are your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calf muscles.
Oh, posterior chain, you say?
Something like that. So the gastrocs, the hammies, the gluteus maximus, all of those muscles in there, that's what's propelling you forward. Guess which muscles are not being used on a treadmill?
Those ones.
Any of those, because the belt is moving your leg backwards for you.
Yep.
You are not training any of those muscles. And on the other side, the muscles that initiate hip extension, which is your leg going behind you to push you forward on the road or the trail or whatever, or up a hill, that's your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calves. The other side of it is your leg coming forward. So those muscles are barely being activated on a treadmill. And really the main muscles being activated on a treadmill are your hip flexors. Your iliopsoas, which is that group of muscles in your hip flexors. We talked about hip extension with the posterior chain. Hip flexion is initiated by your hip flexors.
Yep.
So if you're on the treadmill, you are getting some pretty good activation of your hip flexors. But the other thing that moves the muscles that activate knee extension are your quadriceps. Well, you're not really doing much of that either in the quadriceps, and when you do a foot strike and your quadriceps help you initiate that first push backwards. None of that stuff's getting activated except your hip flexors. So it's deconditioning. Not only is it not activating and strengthening those muscles that you need to walk and run, it's actually deconditioning
yourself to what it actually is.
The belt is moving for you. Now, diatribe within a diatribe, the incline. When I go, there's not much more at the gym that makes my head explode outside of not putting your equipment back where it belongs than when I see people crank up the incline to 20 or whatever the hell it is, and they lean back and hold on to the rails. So guess what you're doing now? If you know anything about physics, if you crank up the incline and you lean into it like you would if you were walking up a hill out here on the street, you got to lean into it.
Yeah.
Well, if
you see people lean back, it's never. Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, on a treadmill, if you grab the handles, wherever the handles are, or the TV screen, that's the other one I see too. They grab the TV screen and lean back. Guess what? You're walking on a flat surface again. Yeah,
I've never seen that because I always lean forward badly.
So when you walk on a flat line, if you're watching on video, when you're walking on flat surface, you propel yourself like this and your body's straight up and down. You should be walking and running with a very slight forward lean. When you walk up a hill, you necessarily have to lean yourself forward so that you don't fall down. Now, if I put a level on you, you would be more or less level. The road went like this, but you went like this. Yeah. So you're level to the earth or with a slight forward lean, but you're really digging in to those muscle groups that we talked about now. Well, if you jack up that incline on the treadmill
then lean
and then
back.
You grab the handlebars and you lean straight back, now you're back to this again.
I guess
you're not doing anything.
I haven't been in a commercial gym in a while. I have not seen that.
I see it every day that I go in there, multiple people every day, at least half of the people on the treadmills are doing that. So not only are you not working those muscles, those glutes you want to work so much, you ain't working them. Yeah. And second of all, you're not getting the cardio benefits out of it because you're not working as hard as you would be if you were leaning into that. So if you are going to do anything in a gym involving walking or running, I would suggest getting on the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
Stay away from the treadmill, get on the Stairmaster. And aside from that, grab some weights, some dumbbells, and walk with them. Those dumbbells up the Stairmaster. That's at least going to activate those muscles more, and it's going to jack your heart rate up. And you can't lean back on the Stairmaster, or
I've gone right off.
You're going to be in a lot of trouble. But that is some information that needs to be out there. Please do responsible treadmilling if you're going to treadmill. And if you must do anything in the gym, get on the Stairmaster instead. So the next thing outside of getting miles on your feet is getting your body stronger.
Yep.
You're going to need to be strong to negotiate these obstacles. You're not going to need to be a power lifter or a bodybuilder. And bodybuilders, a lot of times, is fake strength anyway. Sorry, not sorry. But I want everybody to start with calisthenics. Calisthenics are so underrated in this fitness culture today that it's criminal. Or if you are already doing a calisthenics routine, increase the intensity, volume, etc. of your calisthenics. And so what do I mean when I say calisthenics? Pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, push-ups, squats, lunges, glute bridges, planks, good mornings, all that stuff. And guess what? You don't need any equipment.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff I call body weight.
I mean, if you're going to do pull-ups, you need something to pull up on. But if you live in a universe where you can't find something to pull yourself up on, then we need to talk about getting you out of there. And if I could even refine it down to two of those exercises that I just mentioned in the calisthenics world, dips and pull-ups. Dips or chin-ups. Either one. Pull-up is
overhand,
palms away from you. Chin-ups are palms towards you. They activate different muscles. One's more of a back exercise. One's more of a biceps exercise. But I want you to really strengthen. It's called the shoulder girdle. All those muscles around your shoulder and your upper back, those deep upper back muscles and your upper arm. Work those muscles because you're going to be doing a lot of hanging and swinging. So dips and pull-ups, dips and pull-ups, dips and pull-ups, dips and pull-ups. You need to do dips. You need to strengthen your chest muscles and your triceps to push you over the overwalls or to crawl around on the ground or some of these other obstacles where you're going to need that downward pushing motion. So calisthenics are going to do absolutely everything for you. And once you get proficient at a certain level, if you can't do push-ups, do planks. If you can't do high planks, do knee planks. Just work yourself up.
Yeah.
Push yourself according to where you need to be. Refine your techniques. Start increasing your reps. If you find it increasingly easy to do 20 push-ups or whatever your number is, do 22.
Yeah.
Don't worry about sets in increments of 5s or 10s or whatever. Do you want to go till failure? Sure. With calisthenics, if you want to do push-ups until you can't do push-ups anymore, great.
Nice.
Fantastic. You're not bench pressing 225 pounds and you're going to injure yourself.
Right.
Okay. Moderately. If you're completely deconditioned, please be careful. Don't go to failure. But once you're proficient at it, then get after it. And once you're proficient in calisthenics, add some weight training. Add some weight training that is geared toward repeatable strength endurance. Because as I said, when we started out, what is this race that we're doing?
Right.
We're going to be doing a little bit of cardio fitness with the running. Then we're going to do explosive exercises over and over and over and over again. So I don't care if you can bench press 325 pounds once.
Right.
I care if you can bench press 135 pounds 20 times.
Yeah. Right.
Or something like that. So repeatable strength endurance. You want those muscle fibers to be trained, the neuromuscular processes to be trained towards endurance for this. And if you already have a workout regimen that's more bodybuilder based, you're going to need to pivot a little bit. Right. You don't have to. But if you really want to test, you really want to do well and compete well, you're going to have to train your body a little bit differently. And you'll be fine. You're not going to lose all of your gains. And you might even enjoy it.
I would say you might, a bit of a break. Might find something new.
So that'd be repeatable strength and endurance. That'd be 5 to 6 sets of a lighter but challenging weight at 20 reps or 16 or whatever that rep range is for you, as opposed to 3 sets of super heavy at 6 reps. So we're looking for repeatable strength in all planes of motion. Right. So not just the frontal and the sagittal. We want to train in the transverse plane too, which I'll get to here in a second. We're not doing hypertrophy, so we're not worried about isolating. And we're not doing max power. We're not doing max power.
Right.
But we are doing power. We're not ignoring power. We want, what did I say?
Explosive power, yes. When you need it.
Right. When you need it. Dial it up. So that's going to be stuff like ball slams, medicine ball slams, or box jumps. Jump squats. Like jump squat is something that you can do without equipment. If you don't have something that you can jump, if you have steps, you can do box jumps. Please be careful, mind your safety. Plyo push-ups, that you can do without equipment. That's push-ups. That's explosive push-ups. Sometimes they're called ballistic push-ups, where you push, where you get to the bottom, where your chest is on the ground, and you explode up so that your hands come up off the ground.
Try to get your whole body off the feet and hands off the ground.
And sprints. If you're able, don't start your fitness regimen by doing sprints.
You'll tear a hammy.
You need to work up into this. But I want to see you doing these explosive moves, because this is going to help you get through some of these obstacles. Another thing I want you to do, and this is going to be grip, forearm, and core stability, is farmer carries and suitcase carries. The difference is farmer carry is 2 hands, equal weight in 2 hands, or you can off balance it.
Yeah.
But that's not really a farmer carry. The off balance, the
suitcase carry.
The counter oppositional move is the suitcase carry. That's where you have a weight in one hand, and you don't want to let the weight drag you down. You want to brace the core, engage the core, have your shoulders nice and level. That's how this core is going to come into play, and it's going to work your grip, your forearms, all the things that you need, your traps, your shoulders, all that kind of stuff. How long do you do farmer carry or suitcase carries? As long as you can. Yeah. Until you drop the weight. That's how you train this. Now, once again, if you're just coming off the couch, don't do that. Set yourself something like 20-second intervals.
Start there.
Manageable weight, something that you can carry, and you want to make sure you squeeze the weights. If you're carrying dumbbells or bumper plates, squeeze the weights. Don't just let your hook
grab them.
Yeah, do like that. Squeeze them, because you're going to need those thumbs. That muscle right there. Yeah. You're going to need that for gripping and transition. So farmer carry and suitcase carries. Work on those. That's going to help you a lot. And I touched on this a second ago, but I want you to train in the transverse plane. That means that's the rotational
Twisting,
plane. So the bench press, things like that, pressing moves forward like that, that's the transverse plane. I'm sorry, the sagittal plane. And doing stuff out to the side is the frontal plane. That sounds weird and backwards, but whatever. Train in the transverse plane. A lot of weightlifters don't do much of this. That's your twisting moves. You're going to need this ability when you're hanging from your arms and you have to turn yourself like this to grab the next handhold, or when you're grabbing, picking up a heavy item, twisting it, putting it down over here, things like that. So I want you to train in the transverse plane. And to do that, you can do that with cable machines or resistance bands by twisting your body against a fixed surface. But if you don't have equipment, you can do things like bicycle crunches, which you do. That's where you do bicycle kicks and you crunch your elbow to the opposite knee as you're doing the bicycle kick. Something I've had you do, plank pass-throughs. You're in a plank, and you have a dumbbell, a light dumbbell, because this is not about how much weight that dumbbell is, but the move is passing the dumbbell underneath your other arm all the way through so that you're twisting and then resetting plank, grabbing the weight, and twisting it through the other side. Russian twists. Typically, you'll see people do Russian twists with kettlebells.
Yeah.
You don't need
Medicine
the weight
ball,
to do it. You can do Russian
Yeah,
twists.
they get pretty hard without any weight at all.
Yeah, you do 40 Russian twists and tell me that you needed a weight.
Yeah.
Similar to bicycle crunches is the opposite elbow mountain climbers. So when instead of bringing your knees just straight up, bring your knees across your
mountain
body.
climbers
Up
are
to
so
the
hard
opposite
regardless
arm.
of where my knee goes.
So that's how you can do training the transverse plane. Now I want to talk about running. And here's the scary part, everybody. All right. I don't want you to go out and run 5 miles. I don't want you to go out and run 10 miles. I don't want you to do any of that stuff. I want you to train yourself in what's called interval running. This is all you need to do. Unless you're out there training for a marathon, and quite honestly, this is a legit technique for long distance running training too. Because the intervals are a period of running and a period of walking. Your walking isn't picking daisies. It's a quick walk, but you're walking. So let's say, for example, it's 90 seconds at a jog, whatever your pace is, and you should not be sprinting. Not yet. You should be going in something like a zone 2 run where it's kind of like you can carry on a conversation, but it might be a little effortful.
Right.
So that'll be your jog and then 30 seconds of walking or whatever your intervals need to be. But the deal is that the walking interval is never long enough to let your heart rate
fully
come
catch your
back
breath
down.
really in.
So you're keeping your cardio fitness, your cardiorespiratory fitness up there while doing these intervals, and you're not just running on and on and on for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
And you can do that. That is a sustainable run training technique that anyone can do.
In high school, a lot of my friends were on the cross country team, and they called those walkers and sprinters. And that was like a legit tactic that people ran the boys and girls cross country with. And all of my friends would get so mad when they were beaten by somebody because they're like, I've been trying to like sustain a pace for this, and then here comes
I ran
somebody.
track and cross country in high school too, and we did. There's a technique called fartleks.
Fartleks.
And that's more geared towards super high intensity running with periods of rest or walking in between that. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I want to make sure that your running is moderate. In fact, I don't ever want you running. I don't care if you ever run above a zone 2 pace.
Oh, good.
Ever.
Because it's, it's not on my bingo card ever.
Unless your goal is to compete in the elite.
I was going to say, that's where your mind is. My mind goes, unless you're being chased by wolves.
Yeah, I just want you to keep going.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of running techniques that we can talk about, but that's a whole other show on its own. But interval running, if you have any questions about that, hit me up in the comments. One more thing, touched on this briefly, get in the elements. Train how you're going to race. If your race is in the heat, get out and run in the heat. Do push-ups in the heat. Whatever, get out of the gym, get out of your air conditioning, get out of your climate control, get the miles under your feet and get in the climate. If you're going to be running in the cold, you better be training in the cold because that shit will take it out of you, man. Yeah. People talk about the heat. Cold is way worse, especially when you're wet. Yeah. That will suck every bit of it. Yeah. I can hydrate and temper myself all day for heat.
Well, if you're cold, I always just want to like curl into a ball and die.
Cold
it
will shut your body down.
Yeah.
I ran this Asheville race used to be in November, and it gets a little chilly up there in November, especially when one of the last obstacles that you do is like waist deep in a rushing river. The water's like 33 degrees. So you go through that creek crossing and you go up a big muddy hill, and then you spend the next 30 or 40 minutes negotiating like 10, 12 obstacles in a row. But I did the beast, the 13-miler with 30 obstacles that year, and it was just above freezing. It was like 34 degrees, and we're wet and muddy. You're fine.
Yeah, well, you're moving.
You're moving, so you're maintaining your body heat. It's when you stop.
Yes.
I almost couldn't stand up. When I stopped after my race and Meredith brought my dry clothes and towels and dry shoes over to me, I sat down, and that was a big mistake. I sat down on a not on the ground, but on a little block that was like 8 inches off the ground. And I was drying, took my shoes off and my socks and drying, putting my stuff back on. And she had to help me stand up.
Yeah.
And we had to walk.
So did you just like lock up, basically? Yeah.
My hips just locked up. And we had to walk like half a mile.
Yeah.
You've been
back
to
the
this
parking.
place,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Up that hill and back to the parking. Yeah.
No, it wasn't even there. We were on the other side of the entire horse complex.
Okay.
So we had to walk like half a mile, and I almost didn't make it. But anyway, so get out and train in the elements that you're going to run in. And the last thing I want to say about this, also, before I say the last thing, the second to the last thing, video tutorials. If you have any questions, there are little video tutorials that are a few minutes long of every obstacle in the Pantheon, all of them. I hate that word. I didn't obsess. I don't want anybody to obsess over anything.
Rabbit hold.
Gator rolled. Yes, rabbit hold. Video tutorials because I wanted to know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
And it really helped. So that can help you kind of see what it is you're going to do.
What's coming
now,
at you.
the last thing I want to tell you is this. When you're in the race, don't quit. Quitting is an emotional response to a physical and or a mental stressor.
Right.
You may feel like this is the worst thing ever, and you're like, you know what? Fuck this. I paid $125 to do this. I'm going to call for the medical cart and have them take me out of here. Don't quit. You're going to hate yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
It's going to end. Quit. There's a philosophy in military training, particularly elite military training, and that is don't quit today, quit tomorrow. Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to quit today. I'm going to quit tomorrow. Or you break it down into tiny, smaller elements than days. You break it into don't quit now, make it to the next meal. Quit after lunch.
Yeah.
Or whatever. In this case, I want you to just keep your feet moving. Quit over the next hill.
Yeah.
Don't quit before this hill. Quit over the next hill. Quit after the next obstacle, not on this one. Just take 10 steps. Quit after 10 steps.
Yeah.
Then tell yourself that again. Walk instead of run. Give yourself a little bit of a break right there. Focus on your breathing. Do anything to take the mental burden off of what you're doing and how much it sucks, because it doesn't really suck. You're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you pick your head up and look around and see that also you are not the only one suffering. Yeah. There is no greater constructor of esprit de corps than shared suffering.
Yeah.
And there are people out there, hundreds of them, that will help you and encourage you. No one's going to be out. Not one human being is going to be out on that course going, you suck.
Yeah, you should
What
quit.
are you doing? Ask for help if you need it, man. And if you need help getting over an obstacle, people will help you. Yeah. It's such a cool community. But that's what I wanted to touch on with that. Do you have any questions that you wanted to ask me about these things? Because like I said, we're going to do day of. So the next episode is going to be how to prepare for race day.
Yep. So we had a listener and friend submit some questions. As you know, I'm obsessed with mud and comfort during this.
Don't want to get mud in my bra.
Don't want to get mud in my sports bra. So his question, and I know they're famously, you always see the mud, and like you said, the first one you did was like thigh deep water, so that's out there. But and we were talking about nothing new on game day or race day. So his question was, if your shoes are going to get wet and muddy, is mud in now socks? Does it like creating blisters? Now, you don't want to take your socks off on the day of if you've never, trained without socks. But if you have a shoe that you've trained without socks, then he was like, should I put that on the menu? So if I need to take my socks off during the day, I have that option.
Never run without socks.
Interesting.
Never run without socks. You want to talk about getting blisters. But let me make sure I understand this, because I really want to address this. This is such a good question. Is the question about shoes and socks? What are my shoes going to be, or do...
No, the question is, like, since we don't want to get there and be like, oh, my socks are going to be sopping wet and filled with mud, that's going to be uncomfortable. Okay. I'm like, I wish I had trained without socks, so I have the option to take them off
socks
today.
In particular. Okay. Yeah. So your foot gear is a big deal depending on the race you're doing. Your shoes, this may be the number one question people ask outside of hydration is, what kind of shoes should I get for this? And I'm going to get to socks, but shoes, if you're not competing in age group or elite, you're having fun and you're running the 3 miler, don't buy expensive shoes.
Yeah.
To run in the crappiest, rattiest shoes that you can find that are not
that
going
if
to
you need
fall
to throw
apart.
out at the end, you can.
That you don't feel bad about throwing away, but also that aren't going to hurt your feet. Don't go out and run in tap shoes or clogs, or don't be stupid about it. But don't go out and spend a bunch of money on shoes. But socks. I want to lead into this because I was a Marine. I've lived my life in very austere, rough conditions quite a bit. I've spent most of my life working outside and on my feet. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I hate having wet feet. I hate having wet feet. So you're like, why are you doing these races? Well, I hate having wet feet when I'm just walking around doing stuff. If the milieu is wet and muddy, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But so how do you protect your feet with this? I was there one race in particular, that race, the race I told you about that I nearly froze to death. I knew it was going to be cold and I knew it was going to be wet and muddy because it had been raining for weeks.
Yeah.
So I bought some, and I'm doing air quotes if you're listening on podcasts, some waterproof socks. There's nothing in the world that is waterproof.
No.
Now,
plastic bag, maybe.
and this is an important tip with shoes and socks, but do not ever, if you're going to be doing a Spartan race or an OCR event, do not ever buy anything waterproof.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to do?
It's going to make you pruny.
It's going to trap the water inside
it's gonna give
the
you
shoe or
prunes.
the sock, which is exactly what happened to me. I was okay for a little while until I got into some mud and water that was about mid-shin. Then guess what? Those waterproof socks that I bought
are now water balloons
they're
on your
water
feet.
balloons.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I was miserable. And you know what I had to do? I had to stop
and empty
take
them
them off,
Yeah.
and pour the water out of them.
Yeah.
So wear as much, and this goes to everything else, wear as much, don't wear cotton. Don't wear cotton. Wear as much nylon or synthetic stuff as possible because it won't get heavy and it'll dry quickly and
dry
it'll
fast.
moisture wicking and all that kind of stuff. But socks in particular, where I wouldn't even wear like thick padded, heavy padded socks because they're just going to get mushy.
Yeah.
I would wear as socks that are as thin as possible and that are at least breathable, that the moisture can pass through.
Yeah.
Your feet are never going to be dry.
Yeah.
Once they're wet, they're wet. So forget about it. You're just going to be running in wet feet.
There's no hope that they're going to dry along the way.
There's going to be grit. There's going to be sand. There's going to be dirt. There's going to be rocks. You're just going to have to learn to deal with it.
There's no obstacle where I stop and take my shoes off in front of a blow dryer.
Correct. Now,
Bummer. That's my favorite one.
yeah, if it gets real bad, I mean, like I've said, you may have to stop and empty some mud and rocks out of your shoes and socks, but never run without socks. I've seen people lose shoes. Their shoes get sucked off of their feet in the mud, stuff like that. But always have comfortable low cut socks. If you want to, some people wear compression socks because they have shin or knee issues or foot issues. If you need to do that, that's fine, but I don't recommend it. If you do wear compression socks, make sure that they're permeable. Yeah. They're breathable. That's a good question. What else?
All right. If you have minimal equipment, if you have access to minimal equipment, what workouts would you suggest? We talked about the calisthenics, but what is the one piece of equipment you would recommend finding? And I think I know what you're going to say.
A pull-up bar.
Yeah. Yep. Go to your local kids playground and find a
jungle gym.
Find a jungle gym.
Where you can do pull-ups, because the majority of the obstacles all of the most difficult obstacles, with the exception, even the Olympus wall, you're going to need your grip, but you're going to need to learn how to master a lock off. That means your elbows are bent. You cannot dead hang your way through these obstacles. Your shoulders will fatigue. You need the room, and a lock off is where it's not a full flexed arm hang, but it's a little bit of a flexed elbow so that you have some room to move and you have some room to give yourself a little cushion, cushion to reach out and then pull yourself back up. So I'll repeat what I said earlier. pull-ups and dips, pull-ups and dips, pull-ups and dips, pull-ups and dips. So if you
Or-
can find a pull-up bar, you can find something to do dips on as well.
Or if you find a pull-up bar, muscle ups, that's a pull-up to a dip. There you go.
If you can do a muscle up, you might not need this show. But yeah, if you can do, by the way, if you can do a muscle up, that's the only exercise you'll need for the rest of your, only upper body exercise you'll
I was
need
going to
for
say,
the
like,
rest
we've
of your
talked a
life.
lot about upper body, and the running is going to get your legs, but I'm sure in these obstacles, your legs participate.
Yeah, you'll be doing a lot of, they hit everything.
Yeah.
Nothing gets ignored. There's a good bit of lifting. And like I said, these carry.
Carry obstacles, things,
You
yeah.
need your base strength for that. You need your glutes and hamstrings, and you need your quads and your calves. So you may be holding it in your arms, but your base is what's going to solidify all that. And when you need to pick up that Atlas ball, which is, I think the men's is 90 pounds and the women's is 40 or 50 pounds, just a big giant round rock.
Yep.
No handles. Nowhere to grab it. No,
you're gonna
nothing.
get
You
to
just gotta
snuggle with it.
manhandle that
Just
sucker up,
snuggle it.
right? You're going to need your base for that. What else?
Rock cuddles. I think we covered everything. Let me just let me go through. I need to figure out how to airplay this. Oh, okay. So as I'm doing my calisthenics and running and whatnot, let's say I'm not like coming right off the couch, but like how much lead time should this take? I mean, like, can I prepare for this in 4 weeks? Do I need a month? Should I? And I'm just saying, so I'm not going to die on race day, like, so I can have a good time where I'm, I still get a workout in and all that good stuff, but
so not coming off the couch, you have some kind of a baseline of fitness.
Yeah.
Realistically, just to compete in an open heat where you feel good about your finish,
exactly,
that you successfully negotiated enough obstacles, you ran most of the way. Could you do it in a month with a baseline of fitness? Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
I would say your minimum
take it
should
slow
be
if you
2
can.
months.
Yeah. Okay.
Your minimum prep time,
Fair.
minimum prep time, if you are coming in with a baseline of fitness, should be 8 weeks. You can get a really killer program going and like really sort of reimagine your fitness more geared toward all the different planes of motion, and the different sub muscle groups, the synergists and the helper muscles and the little deep muscles that you're going to need to help get you through this.
The ones under my armpits that always cause the knots in my back. Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. So could you do it in a month? Yep. I wouldn't recommend it. I would say 6 to 8 weeks. And if you're just coming off the couch, you can get yourself trained up for this in 12 weeks, 3 months.
Okay.
So
good.
Yep.
So it's not like, I would say training for a marathon, like I know what that's like either. But, not a huge, I don't have to get for 6 months, be dedicated to this, to then go out and have a good time and slop around and get some mud in my sports bra.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to put it. Have some fun. Please have some fun with this. And the best way I coach and counsel young athletes about this who can be a little hard to motivate to train as hard as they should be. It's like the most fun you're ever going to have is when you're running circles around your opponent who's sucking wind because they didn't train as hard as you did.
Yeah.
So put in the effort so you can have so much fun out on the course. You don't want to be beat red, dying, sucking wind out on the course. You should be having fun out there. Put in the work ahead of time so you can just get out there and get after it. Is that what we got?
That's what we got.
All
Everything else is like actual race day that I'm saving for next time.
I have so much other stuff, but our Gen Z section was so long. So we're going to save that for next time, and we're going long here. We're almost 2 hours. So we're going to get on out of here. Finley was hollering at me, so I imagine, it's
time
about
for dinner.
17 minutes past dinner time.
Oh, man.
So we're going to close it out right there. All right. Thanks for spending time with us today on Balance Fit Radio. If this conversation resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need it. And let me leave you with this thought. A man's health can be judged by which he takes 2 at a time, pills or stairs. That's brought to you by Joan Welsh. Until we meet again, be capable and resolute and move through life with a dadgum sense of purpose. Train to be the right kind of dangerous. And remember, your life, your potential. Peace out, homies. See See y'all next time. That was fun.
Good
I enjoyed that.
stuff.
That
Yeah.
was really good information out there, and I appreciate you bringing those questions.
Of course, I'm thrilled my friend wanted to participate. And when we
Shout out, Ben.
Yeah, shout out Ben. We got to get my mom's question in there at
Dana.
some point, or my mom's topic. Dana, shout out Dana. Yeah, it's funny. I said Kleenex, and then I was like Kleenex, and I went, oh, these are puffs. And you know what? If you asked me to come up with a second tissue company, I would have never come up with puffs. Sorry, puffs.
That's marketing right there.
Yeah, marketing. Q-tip.